Actually, I have listened keenly to the cabinet nominee, and I wanted to seek a clarification. Chair, you know, they say the more things change, the more they remain the same. If you go to a cabinet nominee to this Uwezo Fund website of the government, they're saying, welcome to Uwezo Fund, the flagship program for Vision 2030, aimed at enabling women, youth, and persons with disability access finance to promote businesses and enterprise. But the funny thing also is they're saying the fund is highly devolved and adopted the concept of bottom-up approach with the decision making done at the grassroots level in 2014, and they have disbursed 6.9 billion shillings directly and supported 1,877 beneficiaries with 69% success. Now, and the interest rate of this fund is 0%. There was no interest on it. The people were just being given money to start businesses and to refund. Now, the clarification I was seeking is that if you give this hustler fund, and majority of the people you are targeting are startups, people who want to start business now. People who want to buy a new border, people who want to start small-scale businesses, small traders. And this Uwezo Fund concept, which they are saying in their website, by then Jubilee government, that it was a bottom-up approach, never succeeded. How will a fund which will have an interest, however small it is, which is going to be refunded, help somebody to start a business? How will you incubate a startup using that kind of money?
Simon, before you answer that, let me just ask you two questions. Now, as you roll out this fund, you have rightly said many of these people are either in business or some are going to be startups. Now, you will have to tell us what kind of national infrastructure you are going to put in place to help what you rightly call the off-take. Take, for example, where some of us come from, Kinawandai and others. These are areas, even when the country is unfortunately being ravaged by drought, they're still getting good rains. People want to take 5,000 shillings, 10,000 shillings, to grow more beans, more maize, more potatoes. But as drought is ravaging Kenyans in the north and the east, women are still going to roadside with bananas, with potatoes, with all sorts of crops, and staying there until evening and going back home without even selling. So for you to make the hustler succeed, what infrastructure do you want to put in place in terms of cold rooms, movement trucks, and so on, so that whatever they are going to double in production can move to consumption markets? Because there's absolutely no point for us to be crying to Mexico to send us maize when you have potatoes and bananas rotting by the roadside in Kisii, in Siaya, in Bungoma, and so on. This is squarely within your purview. Number two, the story of cooperatives is what the Chinese would call sweet and sour. Out there, many average people are very frightened of the managers of cooperatives. Because every cooperative you go to, there are a few examples that may have succeeded, but you'll find the managers of the cooperatives are filthy rich. Their members are in abject poverty and are the ones who produce. What management structure are you going to engineer to ensure that now there is respect for public property in the management of cooperatives, so that even the small hustler with 10 shares must have those shares protected and get just returns?
Just to add on that, Mr. Speaker,
yes.
the richest man in my constituency is a cooperative man, is a cooperative manager. I don't want to mention that.
Yes, yes, Ichungwa.
Speaker, maybe it's good that you have raised that issue of cooperatives, and the CS would tell us how probable, just in addition to what the Speaker is asking, how probable is it for you to ensure that we have something in the sense of what KDIC does with banks, the Kenya Depository Insurance Fund, corporation or rather, a fund like that, like KDIC, that will ensure that cooperators' money is secured, so that you also encourage people to join the cooperative societies and also ensure there is proper governance structures in the cooperatives. I'll give you an example. In Kiambu County, there is a SACCO, the cooperative SACCO that was called Ekeza SACCO, and they collected people's money, disappeared with the money, and they then hide in politics to run away from paying people's money. I would also want to hear what you intend to do to make sure that those people who are running cooperative societies fleecing Kenyans, that they do not come and hide in politics, that you will make sure that they get people's money back to them.
Yeah.